Hi everyone, welcome back to this final tutorial. You find me here again in my flat in Glasgow in Scotland, and I'm not going to lie to you, today is not a sunny day. It is in fact really windy and a bit miserable. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. You'll notice I've not got my cello to hand, and that is because we're going to talk in quite general terms about music, what I think is important, some things to bear in mind as you develop as a musician. Obviously this ties into the earlier tutorial this week about well-being and just looking after yourself. But this is going to talk more about performance and what it means to actually be a musician. At the heart of music is communication. You are a storyteller when you are a musician. When you sit down to play, you're not just playing a row of notes. In fact, I would say that if you are playing just a row of notes, you're not really getting to the heart of the music. Now, that's not to say that we need to understand what the composer meant when they wrote the piece or when they wrote the row of notes. But we have this incredible gift of these notes, and we can almost superimpose our own story onto them. So whenever you're playing, and especially when you're in performance, have a story in your mind. The composer might have written a story. It might be about a specific story, but even when that's not the case, that doesn't mean that you can't have an idea in your mind about what it is you want to communicate. So say something when you play. Communication also means getting away from the music stand. So if you can memorize your pieces, that is going to remove a physical barrier between you and the audience. Fantastic. If you need the music there in front of you, that's absolutely fine, but be aware that that is a bit of a barrier, and you're going to have to work really hard to overcome that barrier to communicate your story and to communicate with your audience. So that might be eye contact, but that might also just be in how you are in your stage presence. From the minute you walk out onto the stage, you are performing. The audience wants to see that you're enjoying yourself. That doesn't mean you have to smile ridiculously the whole way through your piece, but they want to see you invested in what you're doing. And so show them that. Show them that it means something to you. Always aim for a freshness when you're performing. So just because you have learned this thing inside out, you've practiced it for hours and hours and hours, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to try and do it exactly that way in the performance. We all know that when you're in public and when you're playing in front of people, some things will go a little bit wrong. But the freshness that comes from that means that you can just lean into that. You can embrace that freshness. And if you go into a performance knowing that it's going to be slightly different to how you've practiced it, maybe something really cool is going to come out as a result of that. So allow yourself to be in the moment, to be present, and when you're in concert, allow a freshness to come out in what you're playing. Maybe you'll discover something new about the piece in that moment that you've never heard before. The importance of listening. This cannot be stressed enough. You need to continue to listen to the sound that you're making. Listen to other people's recordings. Try to emulate their sound. What is it about their sound that you want to try and do on your instrument? Continue to find inspiration from other people. Continue to go to concerts. When concerts start up, and remember, they will start up again, go to concerts, go and watch live music, and remember that excitement that you get from a live concert. Whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give up. It's going to be hard. There's going to be days that you're going to think, oh, I don't know why I do this. And guess what? I still have those days. But music is such a special thing, and we are so lucky to get to do what we do. So keep having lessons, keep listening to your teachers, and keep trying hard. Remember why you make music. Music is a great source of community. We very often get to do it with other people and get to play with other people. And that is such a special thing. When you're in an orchestra with somebody, you have something in common with them that is really, really hard to express. And some of the best friends that I've made have been friends that I've met in orchestras, because we have that common bond and we understand what's important to one another. Remember that sense of achievement that you get and that sense of buzz that you get after a live performance. Again, in this period of lockdown, it's really hard to remember that, but think back to after that concert that you played, that you just felt so excited. That is a moment that you can capture again and again. And music should always be fun. It should always be something enjoyable. I've always said when it stops being fun, that's when I need to give up. So always look for the fun. and surround yourself with people that are going to make music fun for you. Mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. It is totally okay to make mistakes. It's a much more efficient way of learning. Fake it till you make it. What do I mean by that? Do I mean that you don't prepare and don't practice? No. Please practice, please prepare as well as you possibly can. But there's always going to be little things that you're going to be a little bit unsure about. The audience don't need to know about them. They need to know that you are fully engaged in what you're doing. So if there's a little moment that you're a little bit scared about, just fake it and move on. They will probably not notice. They will notice, however, if you do this after you make a mistake. So whatever you do, just stay in the moment, stay in the music. And even though there's one part of your brain that's going, that was terrible, what did you do that for? Just get rid of that voice and listen to the voice that says you're here, you're playing music, and enjoy it. I said this once in the live Zoom tutorial that we did, but rhythm is much, much more important than notes. If you're going to focus on anything as you're learning a piece, focus on the rhythms, because you can communicate something with the rhythms that you can't with the notes. A row of notes of indeterminate length is useless. Rhythm tells you so much about a piece of music. Perfection is a moving target. Just when you think you have got it all worked out, you are still able to aim for more. And I would encourage you, aim for more in your playing. Set goals for yourself. Set short-term goals. What do I want to do today in my practice? Medium-term goals. What do I want to be able to do on my instrument in 6 months' time? Long-term goals. What do I want to do in 5 years? What do I want to be able to do in 10 years' time? Where do I want to be in 10 years' time? If you've got these goals in place, you can look back, you can reflect, and you can measure upon them. But more importantly, you give yourself a level of focus and you never reach the point of saying, I'm sorted, I know everything. Because we don't. And guess what? I don't, and I'm still learning, and I've learned so much from these past 3 weeks through the virtual Benedetti sessions. So guys, if I could leave you with one last thought, it would be this: stay curious. Continue to stay interested in things. If you see something that catches your eye, explore that. Go down that road. Stay curious in your listening. Dig into the pieces that you're learning. Listen to millions of recordings, as many recordings as you can find. What is it that that person does at that moment? Stay curious in your life. Enjoy nature. Don't just get your head in music. That's great, but it's not what we're here for. So live full lives. Go and hang out with friends when you're allowed to again. Let me take this opportunity just to say thanks. It has been a crazy journey. We have all learned loads from one another, I think. I've certainly learned lots from you guys, and it's been so cool to see so many of you on Zoom over the past 3 weeks. It's been a real privilege for me to work alongside you, and I hope that one day we will get to see each other again, possibly in one of these formats, but hopefully also in person. And for those of you who I've never met, I hope that I can get to meet you at some point in the future. It's been a blast. Thank you so much for getting engaged with these things. Keep posting your practice tips, #Benedetti sessions. We have loved seeing them, and I have got such a boost and such an encouragement to see how you guys have been learning over the past 3 weeks. So it's goodbye from Glasgow. Until next time.